Hey folks, Charlie Sims here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day and thank you for joining me for a speed build. And today we're going to be making a small castle. I say it's small, it ends up being like a fair size. There's a basement with an apartment for the butler, well, Bonehilda, so apartment for Bonehilda in the back, which is like a little bit of fun. And I think that's why it took me so long. So this is actually a two-parter and we will just be doing the exterior and the gardens for this video because yeah, it just took me so long and I didn't want to release a 40-minute video, so I thought we'd do it in two parts. I thought we'd do the exterior first and then the interior in the second part. And if you are from the future, it should already be linked down below. Otherwise, I'm hoping to get the second part out tomorrow, so that should be coming out tomorrow. And I had a lot of fun building this. I built this quite a while ago, been a few weeks, so there won't be any bunk beds or anything. The idea behind this was I was thinking the family that lived here, it was actually just two princesses. That's what I had in mind when I was making the build originally. So I had like Rapunzel in my head, you know, when she has so many hobbies. Like if you've watched the, I think it's from Disney, the Rapunzel video, but if you've watched it, there's like a really cute song in it where she's talking about all of the hobbies she has, like how many times she brushes, I mean, not that brushing your hair is a hobby, but I mean, it's Rapunzel, so she's got a lot of hair. But one of her hobbies is like she plays the guitar, she paints. Yeah, she's just got an absolute load of hobbies because she's stuck in her room in the tower. And that was really the inspiration for doing a castle and the interior in particular. So the inspiration being that these princesses had a load of hobbies and they were kind of stuck inside, which is like a little bit sad. Their backstory that I thought of is even more sad. I did think that their parents had died tragically in an accident, and I don't normally think of like sad backstories or anything. Like, I don't really play sad backstories in The Sims or anything. It's just, it didn't really like make sense any other way. Like, why would they just be in a castle? I mean, maybe their parents lived down the road in another castle. Like, if you want to spin it that way and download it, you know, if you download this and you want to play that storyline out, then yeah, I guess that would be like a bit more fun, or like less tragic. But I was just thinking that like that's what happened, and they're kind of like, I mean, I guess we don't have guards, but they're not allowed to leave their castle. Also, they're on the island, so where exactly could they go? Like, is there even, oh no, that there is like a bit of a dock on the island. I don't really know how Sims get off the island. So yeah, it's like kind of fitting that this is on the island in Windenburg, I guess. And we also later put the castle on a hill as well, and I think that looks really good with this backdrop. I actually am really happy with how this turned out. And right now I'm just making like a faux turret. So I do this little trick where I add I don't really use tool or anything. I just add a wall and then use the Alt key to put the wall, to put the window that I placed on the wall facing the way I wanted. I just use the Alt key to place that in front of the circular fake turret, and I made that using platforms. And we end up having, which I think is really cool, we end up having a bell tower and then a upstairs like courtyard, which I just think it's really nice. I really like the gardens as well that we end up adding. And to do the bell tower, I size up some lights we got from City Living. I think they're actually called bell lights, and I sized them up a few times, and that's basically the bell tower. Have some ladders leading up to the bell tower. But yeah, that's it really. And now I'm just making like, I don't know, a courtyard. I mean, it's just the roof really. But I could have added something onto the roof. I think the roof might not be accessible with that balcony. But yeah, like maybe you can add sun loungers. I didn't really want to spoil the exterior because I think the exterior is quite typical castle, kind of quite traditional. But the inside, like, is certainly not like the kids. I've tried to mod the kids' rooms. The teenage. I was imagining the princesses were teenagers or young adults. Their rooms are really nice and modern, and everything is quite chic. So I wanted everything to look like not your stereotypical traditional castle. On the inside, anyway, on the exterior, we kept it traditional, but I had a little bit of fun for the interior. But now, as you can see, I just raised the castle up on a mountain. Normally, castles are surrounded by a moat, so I thought we would put them. I don't think I've ever seen a castle just flat. It kind of occurred to me after I'd built the castle that why is this flat? But thankfully, with the foundation tool and the terrain tools, like it was fine. I just raised it up and built a hill around it to cover up the foundation, and now we're just adding a path. So we do end up having this path like gated, I think like partially gated, like not fully gated, but as I said, like I do imagine there being guards here, but we don't actually have guards in The Sims, unfortunately. There's probably a mod for it. I mean, I don't actually know, but yeah, we don't have guards in the Sims game anyway, unfortunately. So, but I did imagine there like being guards, so that's why the castle isn't completely separated off. Anyway, you'll see it when I come to making the path at the front, and also the gardens, I guess, are kind of exposed. But yeah, you'll see that as I do the build. But now I'm just flattening out the terrain around the castle so that I can just add bushes and foundation and all that stuff to it, just adding like a little bit of a step up. I think I end up getting rid of this. I don't actually think we end up having a step, because also, I don't know whether you noticed, when I first started, I thought it would be a good idea because of the placement of the lot for everything to be on a diagonal, and that is purely because of the background of this lot and what I wanted it to face and what I wanted in the background of the castle, which it just made everything more difficult. But I think because everything was on a diagonal, that when I was doing the interior, I kind of forgot that it was on a diagonal, until like you go to place kitchen counters and they don't quite place or fill up the space, because a diagonal wall is actually longer than like a one tile diagonal is longer in length than a one tile horizontal wall, if that makes sense. I basically just made everything difficult for myself, but I think it ended up looking really good. It was just a bit more difficult than it would have been if I'd have decided to not do a diagonal build. It just adds to the complexity of everything. But as you can see, I'm creating a fake fence. Well, not a fake fence, just a bespoke fence, if you like, and just pulled out these bollards, and I've just been adding these onto just to separate the fence, really. I think it looks really nice. I got the inspiration from the Disney castle. I had a bit of a Google, and that's what the entrance to like a Disney castle, like I think maybe the Florida one I looked at, I'm not really sure, but I thought, oh yes, that looks nice. And then I imagined there being a couple of guards there, but I guess if you were like playing this out, Bonehilda could be ensuring that the princesses don't leave, and maybe like if you wanted to play out this storyline, maybe they do sneak off. Yeah, and then they could have a curfew, I guess, as well. And yeah, because I think like regardless of whether you've got parents, if you have a curfew, you can become like irresponsible. If you break it all the time, like that might be a bit fun. I mean, I don't know if you can have a curfew that is literally like all day, never leave the house apart from school. I'm not sure. I think it's 9 the earliest you can have. But yeah, I thought I would add some lamps onto this as well, just for decoration, adding that little bit of detail. And now we're just adding some bushes and some landscape. I wanted the area to be really lush, and certainly when you get up to the castle, I wanted the bushes to be more manicured than the surrounding area. So yeah, when you walk up the moat entrance or whatever, the bushes start getting a little bit more manicured, and it was nice because I could use bushes that I've never used before, like these really odd shaped ones. And I think I put the llama one down at some point. I used the elephant one later as well when I come to do the gardens, and it was just like fun to do something different. I tend to like landscape the same, so this was like really different to what I'm used to, which was fun. Also, for the gardens, we use a lot of romantic garden stuff, which I don't tend to use in my everyday builds because I don't know. I think it's because round by me, you don't see like a lot of flowers or anything. It's just like, I don't know, dead grass. Like, so that's what I tend to landscape with. But this was really nice. Obviously, they, have like a maid, gardeners, I imagine. So I think it's realistic to have all these intricately cut bushes, very Edward Scissorhands. Just enjoyed doing it. And I know it looks like I've been landscaping for a really long time, but I do cut a lot of this. And yeah, we just added a couple of fountains there as well because I thought they looked nice. And now we're onto the garden. So I'm making a bit of a step down, so we have like a bit of a path down to the bottom of the garden, because I was thinking I don't really know how to do this because obviously the lot is completely flat and we just have like a big moat that we have the castle on. So I wanted the garden to be in like three sections, like a raised bit, then a lower bit, and then an even lower bit, and for there to be a courtyard, places to sit, a lot of places to walk. So this is mostly gardens and then places you can sit while you're walking through the gardens. And normally in castle grounds, you do have really large gardens, but this is a small castle, so we've got like a small garden, but I still wanted there to be places you could walk, different routes you could take to the gardens, kind of. Well, I mean, there's just one pathway for this, but I did want there to be like several sections, so that's why we have like a middle section and then like a bottom section for the gardens, really. And yeah, now we're just adding some terrain paint, and this is where the garden really opens up and you can start walking around the two sections, I guess, either to the left or to the right. We also close this bit of the garden off as well at the bottom. And yeah, now I'm just creating like a bit more of a pathway round the other side. I wanted the grounds to be, I mean, I guess nothing is big here, right, but I still wanted it to be like what castle grounds would look like, just on a smaller scale. And I think I achieved this. I think it's really cute, just small. But I could still like imagine the princesses walking around here, sitting down, having a chat, things like that. Just what you have in castles typically. But right now I'm just landscaping still. Pull out some of these debug items with the grass and the fences, and I think they look really nice. Well, the low fences, I think they look really good. And yeah, just pulling those out and just adding some bushes on top of them, and I think it gives it a nice manicured look as well. I don't know, every time I use those I get kind of golf course vibes from it. So yeah, I think it would be certainly something that you could see in a golf course. And yeah, I think it's nice. I'm just covering this edge up on the one side though. And yeah, just add in some more extravagant bushes. Just did add the llama in. We also add the elephant layer as well. And yeah, just a lot of greenery here, using a couple of things from Romantic Garden as well. Do later add an actual fountain, and just pulling out a few decorative archways now from the Romantic Garden stuff pack. And now I'm just adding a railing onto the stairs, and I really do think the archways and everything that I use is like perfect for a castle. Certainly a lot from Romantic Garden is just perfect for this kind of castle ground aesthetic. And this was just really fun. Like normally I just do box standard backyards, but it was really nice to do something different this time. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. But right now I'm just playing about with the arrangement of the statues. So I move that fountain in the middle, and then I think I pull out a different one from Romantic Garden. Yes, I do. Do add some low-lying flowers later to the flower beds. But I don't know whether I get it on camera or not. Now I'm just adding some benches, and this is where the princesses can sit and just look out of the gardens. And yeah, of course, add one under that lovely rounded archway. And then I thought it would be fun to add a wishing well. But now we're actually onto the screenshots for the exterior, so I really hope that you enjoyed part 1 of this build. If you did, please hit that like button, and if you'd like to see more content from me, please hit subscribe. Catch you later.